Welcome to Akhand Vidyashram, the first institute of impeccable wisdom. Om, Mandukya Upanishad, and complete genesis of understanding Om, why it is Mahamantra, the greatest mantra, the foundation mantra, and how I perceive Om as something. This particular symbol was designed by me 50 years ago without getting into spiritual science at all. But when I look at it, shows that I must have conceived it, recognized it, designed it long back in the form which I understand it completely. Now let's move on to understand the concept very clearly. My dharma is impeccable wisdom, akhandata, with a perfect knowledge which nobody can deny. My greatest discovery is Divyank, the divine design of nature, which is the perfect object of the universe or designs. Divyank is made of the 4 components. The first component is 22 by 21. The first stage of generation or recreation. It represents G of God, and it represents Lord Brahma, the Lord of creation, the first stage of creation by and large. Mathematically, I am trying to prove God represent Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, and together they represent the Tatriya. As a result, the entire universe, the way it is created, mathematically revealed for the first time in 2015 by me. Now, 22-21, I have told you, there are 10 mandatory stages of operation or development or growth which can be represented, and 10 reincarnations of Goddess Vishnu. That is second stage of development. Third stage is dissolution or maturation or developing. Everything which has to be formed, it has to come to a conclusion to give it a perfect stage. Without a perfect mathematical design, it is not possible. And from my understanding of ancient Indian wisdom on one side, modern sciences on the other side, and of course understanding mathematics fundamentally, you can call me a divine mathematician, you can call me a physicist, chemist. Almost all the 64 arts I have understood this right, and based on that is Divyank is all about. It is for the first time in the history of mankind, but I know the genesis were there in Vedas and Upanishads, Indian scriptures, and modern science has given me the equipments to derive at the third stage which was not known. 22 by 21 is known for generations, and law of 21 or law of 22 is there, which internationally accepted. Everything is made of 10 stages. I have shown it again and again, not 9 and 11. And the last is 0.34419, which adds up to 21 again. Is something is evolving, beautiful, precise, impeccable to the core. I don't think ever in the history of mankind somebody had suggested something of this nature. Now that we know Divyank like that, we can redesign a research with this particular formula. Will have a perfect impeccable wisdom uniform throughout the world for everyone, A to Z. The entire objective of Akhand Vidyashram and Shiv Bhushan Sharma is impeccable wisdom for everyone from school, college to the university throughout the world. We need to redo the research once again with Divyank. We'll have the perfect knowledge. As a result, there will be uniformity of syllabus, studies, and there will not be misconceptions, unwanted things. We will talk of the core values. Dynamism will ultimately take care of. Relativity to relativity is always a problem. Relativity with Akhand Vidya, you will have absolutely no problem. That is the design. And 1.618034 is a godly divine ratio or divine golden ratio, which the world has recognized as most approximate value. But the values of Fibonacci sequence or golden ratio are misleading, defective. 1.618 is too simple. 1.61803397 with the infinite number of digits is too defective. Both are wrong. They are man-made designs, formulas, which are not perfect. whereas 1.618034 is a perfect, and with that we can find the infinity number. We find perfect anatomy, physiology, biochemistry, entire universe is designed only with this. With that only we can create an impeccable wisdom for the whole world, and keeping that in mind, I've been talking of different aspects of nature one by one in the light of Akhandata, in the light of Divyank, with the impeccable wisdom, bring the uniformity throughout the world for the benefit of world peace, which is my prime interest. Now let's move on to understand Om. Before I go to talk of Om, let me talk of Rig Veda, the first Gayatri mantra from Mandala 10. It starts with Tat Savitur Varenyam Vargo Devasya Dhimhi Diyo Yonha Prachodhyat. These are the only 9 words which are spoken about in Rig Veda, but this is a perfect foundation. What is most important in the whole thing is Tat. What is Tat? What it means Tat? I don't think anybody has understood. Om Tat Sat. Om is that truth, is one thing. Tat Tvamasi, everything is identical, and that is Devyank. Tathastu, let everything will be like that, and that means there is Tat, which is divine nature. And Savitur is sun, Varenyam is light. Vargo Devasya Dhimhi is the divine light which is enlightening the entire world. And that is what everybody, including me, is asking the universe. Give me the wisdom of the world with which I know A to Z of everything. I know the microcosmic representation in the human body, and macrocosmic of the Brahman, and macro-microcosmic of the Mahabrahman, greater universe. All the knowledge at my fingertips. Only then I can be in tune with nature. I can in tune with every living being, every human being, everybody. As a result, I would see only the soul of the person, not other things, because all the problems which the world has is because the information given to us is defective. We need perfect. Then the entire universe will be perfect from A to Z. That is the objective of Akhanda Vidyashram. Now, having understood, Tat has all things which I am looking for. Now let's understand what happens next. As I told you, Tat is one word which stands out. And Tat Tvamasi means I am like that is something which has been spoken about by different people. And I know it is defective. Tat Tvamasi does not mean I am like God. I do not see, I understand Sanskrit to the core. I understand every language to the core. There is a meaning. Tat means, according to Akhanda Vidyashram, according to Shiv Bhushan Sharma, does not mean I am like God. Aham Brahmasmi, yes, I agree. But Tat means the divine nature. And Tvam means every object of the universe. Asi is identical, and that is Devyank. That is one thing which stands out from Gayatri Mantra. Now, second mantra in order is Yajurveda. And in this particular thing, it starts with Bhur, Vava, Swa, Tat Savitur Varenyam, Vargo Devasya Dhimhi, Diyo Yonaha Prachodhyat. So, Tat is there. But before Tat, 3 more elements have been added. One is Bhur, which is earth. Bhuva is Antariksh, atmosphere. Swa are the 7 heavens. These Bhur, Bhava, Swa, all the 3 are made of 777. That is 21 parts. This is very clear on this particular mantra. But when you go to Mandukya Upanishads, you have Turiya, which is 22nd. We will talk about it as we come to that stage. Now, as I told you, Earth is made of 7 parts, Antariksh is made of 7 parts, and there are 7 heavenly bodies, and there are 21 parts of solar system, which Upanishad talk about it. There is a cycle of life, death, and rebirth within the solar system. To go beyond to Satchit Anand, Om Tat Sat, we need 22nd step. And that is beauty in Upanishads. Now come to the question of the one symbol. You can see 2 symbols on there. First symbol is what I made way back in 1995 as the logo for Akhand Foundation and improvised to the second stage over a period. In this particular thing, you can see Om for the first time. Symbol has got Om, and this was designed by me in 95, more 30 years ago, with a complete knowledge of universal consciousness. And from transformation to the one which is on the right side, which you see in my book Akhand, shows without changing the thing I have understood. So Om is that representation which was added in Gayatri Mantra, which world understands it as it is. It's a beauty of evolution. Tat to Bhurvavaswa to Om is a beautiful concept that shows how divine mathematics is the mantra shastra itself. And no wonder Gayatri Mantra is considered the greatest mantra in the world, because it has got that concept within that. Now let's take that to the next stage of Gayatri Mantra. I told you the Om which I designed. Mandukya Upanishad says very clear. A mean earth element, 7 parts. U, the chest, 7 parts. Ma, head, 7 parts. And represented Chaturya beyond the solar system was there. Now let's see in this particular symbol of Gayatri Mantra which I made. You can see the Om right at the beginning part. Then you see Bhur Bhava Swa, the earth element, atmosphere and heaven put as together as Om Bhur Bhava Swa. But this symbol also made me realize that Gayatri Mantra has to be chanted 3 times in a day. When we chant in the morning facing east at 6 a.m., you have ultraviolet rays which enliven us, and that particular Gayatri is called Brahman Gayatri, dedicated to Lord Brahma. Then 12 o'clock we face north, and that is called Vaishnavi Gayatri, to Lord Vishnu's consort. And there is no light, it's a pure light. Then evening 6 p.m, face west and chant Gayatri Mantra, thinking of Lord Shiva as Rudra, the red sunlit infrared lights. So Brahmani, Vaishnavi, Rudrani are the 3 concepts which stand out for Tat as well as Gayatri and concept. I thought that was an amazing starting point in this particular symbol which I designed in way back in 1995. It has changed me completely. A practicing medical doctor, industrialist, and of course an industrialist, changed to spiritual science because I found something really beautiful coming from within, from voice of silence of my Antaratma, showing me this is the universe, this is the world needs, and once this world will have the peace throughout the world per se. Now I'll take this meaning of this. I have already told you the impeccable wisdom is Om is Mahamantra, Pranava, Pranavayu mantra. When we breathe in and breathe out, it is Om. And Bhur is earth, Bhuva is Antriksh, Swa is heaven. Tat means I see that impeccable wisdom. Surya is the one which we are talking about. So my teacher is Surya, and that is what Gayatri Mantra is talking about. And we are looking at the light with which we can say, this is Surya's light, which is giving light to the whole solar system. Had it not been for the light of Surya, we'll all not be there. And that is the effulgence we should admire, we should seek, we should get the grace from Lord Surya and Aditi and Aditya and be enlightened on the whole. And the 3 forms of Gayatri, Brahmani Gayatri, Vaishnavi Gayatri, Rudra Gayatri, has to be done religiously with a complete concentration that we are praying to divinity for impeccable wisdom, enlightening. And that is Surya, that is Gayatri, that's the beauty of it. Now let's take it to the next stage. Mahagayatri Mantra is Om Bhur, Om Bhuva, Om Swa, Om Maha, Om Jana, Om Tapa, Om Satyam. Om Tatsavitur Varenyam Vargo Devasya Dhimi Diyo Yonha Prachodhyat Om Apo Jyoti Rasomratam Brahma Bhur Vava Swa Om. This mantra is found in Mahanarayani Upanishad called Mahagayatri Mantra, and this is what talks about the 7 levels of consciousness of solar system, truth, everything. That beauty of 7 is there. One part in this particular picture. Second part, This is the first improvisation of Gayatri Mantra where one Om becomes 10 Ohms. I felt this is also a message to the world, like a Gayatri which has 10 arms, and Mahagayatri has got 10 Ohms. That means the 10 stages of development. That's the most beautiful part. Then I had the pleasure of making a new Gayatri Mantra called Akhand Gayatri Mantra. It goes like this: Om Bhur, Om Bhuva, Om Swa, Om Maha, Om Jana, Om Tapa, Om Gyan, Om Vigyan, Om Pragyan, Om Satyam. So instead of 7 Vyatis, we have now 10 Vyatis and 10 Ohms here. Then of course Om Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimhi Dhiyo Yona Prachodhyat is same. But then you have concept coming down. Om Bhur, Om Bhuva, Om Swa, Om Jyotir, Om Bhu, Om Amruta, Om Adi Prashakti, Om Gayatri, Om Aditi, Om Jivatma, Om. This you have 10 concepts, not 7. 7 chakras, which ancient Tat Sat Chakra talks about it, is the external root, which is evolving to start with. But when you internalize, it becomes 10 stages. There are 10 plus 3, 4, 4 are the stages which I talked about it, Vishnu and Lord Shiva. Once you understand then this, in this particular mantra, you don't see 1 Om, you don't see 7 Ohms, you don't see 10 Ohms. You straightway jump to 22 Ohms. It is not coincidence, although I have written it, but is guided by my Antaratma Aditi, which is the daughter of Aditya, the sun. The enlightening the person, my Guru, the Guru of everyone is Surya. If you want to understand A to Z of the entire universe, the best example, living example, is Surya, Surya and Surya alone. If Nirankar Nirgun Brahman was there before the creation, and I call it Neon 21, which became Neon 21, and through the 10 stages we came to see the world as it is there in Vedas and beautifully designed in Brihad Upanishad by Maharishi Yajnavalkya, that it was not empty, it was not shunya, it was created with something which was in a mrityu form. He used the word mrityu. He did not use the word darkness, he did not use tamas, he did not use empty, he did not shunya. That's the most beautiful creditable part should go to Maharishi Yajnavalkya, who used the word mrityu. It was a dead form. That meant it was there. It was a dark matter, inert matter, and I translated that to English there as the isomers of neon 21. That's the beauty, and how it became 22, and how through 10 stages we have come the world as it is. That is the concept of Divyank in Mantra Shastra itself. Now, having understood that, let's move on to understand Mandukya Upanishad, how beautifully with 12 shlokas alone, it has shown the beauty of Om. The first verse makes it very clear. The greatest syllabus is Om. Om is omnipotent, omniscient, omnipresent. Om is the present, is the past, is the future. Whatever is there in the world is in 3 form, and this is talked about Ankara, uniform collectively, and that is the manifestation of past, present and the future. This is the ultimate absolute truth. Om Tat Sat is there in this particular symbol itself as the first verse. When we go to the second verse, it talks about Om is a Brahma. Now comes to very clear. First is Tatsvamasi. Nirankar Nirgun Brahman is Om. Sakar Sargun Brahman is Om. Everything is Om. Everything comes out of it. It's a past, present, future. Everything is in Om. Who understands Om would understand Gayatri Mantra, understand the entire universe. That is the beauty of Mantra Vidya, which I am talking about through Akhand Sutra, Akhand book and other concepts. The second verse talks about straightway Om is the greatest, is Brahma, Lord Brahma. Hence Om is Brahma. Om is made of 4 parts. And Muladhara Chakra has got 4 concepts, and you have Lam, and presiding deity is Brahma, Bal Brahma. How beautiful it is that it's made of 4 parts. But if you look at the picture down in this, Brahma is shown with 3 heads complete plus 1, which I translate into 22 by 7 are the pi. That is also the wisdom which Maharishi Yajnavalkya spoke about Brahmana Sthapana. And sure, this is a mathematics you should know. And that was pi, and that is Pythagorean theorem, which we call it. Modern science has made a mockery of ancient Indian wisdom, has not spoken the concept, where Yajnavalkya made it very clear. 1 divided by 7 is 0.142857. It doesn't have infinite number, which modern scientists are giving and confusing the word. It is only 142857. Once that 6 numbers are known, you have clear about it. Then let's come to the third verse. Third verse talks about it. You have a waking stage, which is external world. The first stage people should do is learn all the things through your Brahma Avastha, the first 21 years of your life, to understand the concept very clearly. This is a picture taken in Madras Medical College along with my roommates studying anatomy and other subjects, and that is the stage you should correct all the information, data, information, knowledge of all the 64 arts is the first 21 years of your life, and that is waking consciousness. Then going to the fourth stage is the dreaming consciousness. What you have learnt should get into the brain, as you can see in the brain, and then contemplate about it in a dreaming stage. And that is where you start seeing a new picture out of what you have learnt. A new dimensions are added, and it takes your life to much better understanding of other dimensions, taking to higher and higher levels, because the book knowledge given in different books is limited. No book is complete. But it's a dreaming consciousness gives you a knowledge which is multi-dimensional, maybe 64 arts. And once you do that in a dreaming stage, you see the visions, and most of the impeccable wisdoms of the world were revealed in a dream state. And benzene ring is one of them. Now come to the question of the fifth verse is talking about Sushupta stage, dream, deep sleep. When one person is deep asleep, does not desire anything, does not see any dream, is deep sleep. During the third stage of deep sleep, one recognizes one state of blissfulness and the wisdom of 4 directions and dimensions. And we all know when you have deep sleep, when we get up, all we feel is sense of blissfulness, Sat Chit Anand. That is Om Sat Chit Anand. And that is the stage, is fifth verse talks about it, is important. Waking, dream and deep sleep are the 3 stages, and all the 3 stages are made of 7 parts. Then comes the surgeon of next stage, Turiya. This is omni, lot of everything. This is omnipresent of everything. This is omniscient concept of everything. This is ultimate source of everything. This is beginning of everything. This is end of everything. That means everything summed up in Turiya stage. That is Antaratma, which knows everything. Once you go to that stage, once you become true, is the Turiya state, a super conscious state, which is intuitive stage to be in tune with universal consciousness. You are in tune with Akash Kosh. The entire wisdom of past, present and future is at your fingertips. And once you are in tune with that, you will have the kind of knowledge which no one in the world has ever done. And I am glad I have seen that, and Divyank is the result of that. These symbols are representative of that. This knowledge is representation of that Akash Kosh, the living desire of the wisdom which is there in ionosphere layer at 8.73 Hertz frequency, and I can produce 8 Hertz frequency throughout the brain with eyes open and eyes closed for the first time in the history of mankind. That is first thing. Divyank is first time. All the symbols are first time. Impeccable wisdom for the first time. That is Akhand Vidyashri giving for the world to have a perfect knowledge for everyone. Next 7 words we are talking about. The 4th state is the self, Atma. And the person who can see the sight, words, cognition, imagination, thinking, attribute, blissfulness, quiet, duality and knowledge. This self-seer soul knows everything, is the superconscious stage of Turiya, is well defined in this particular verse 7. You learn the Turiya, you go to that Turiya, go to Turiya Titam, you will have the entire world at your feet. You can do the astral travel comfortably. You've been within the body and see the entire universe. You have the Vasu Kutumbam within your brain, within your eyes, in front and everybody. You are part and parcel of living consciousness. That's the most beautiful part. And this concept is spoken about in many of the Upanishads as 22 by 21 again. Then come to the question of eighth space. Is talking about three stages. Self is the syllabus Om, is the elemental form, is made of the following three syllables: Akara, Yukara and Makara. Akara is the waking state, Yukara is the dream stage, and Makara is deep sleep stage. And then there is Turiyam, which is Om Tat Sat, that is what it is all about. Once you are able to understand Om Tat Sat, you are one with universal consciousness. Ninth verse is very, very clear. The syllabus of Vaishnavara, the king, the first state of waking consciousness, is the king, the perfectly healthy, wealthy, wise, happy person who can administer things with all the power of the physical self, total to the perfection, not falling sick, perfectly healthy, very powerful, very dynamic, is what is king. And that king is able to take all the external desires of the world. Once you are able to satisfy all the external desires, need-based, whether it's health, wealth, wisdom, happiness, only then you can move on to the spiritual science, otherwise you cannot. That is the ninth verse. When come to the 10th verse, is talking about Tejas, the effulgence or the light, which is dreamy consciousness. And it is associated with Ukara, which I would associate with chest. When you say Akara, it is the lower abdomen, the lower consciousness, which is starting a journey of revolutions. But when you come to the chest, it is revolution to the middle level. Chest will start vibrating with chanting of you. If you say Ah, it is low, You is chest, Ma is the brain. Once you are able to feel that way, then only you have the real meaning of Ankara. It's not Om. It is Ah, You, Ma. You can see the evolution going up. And that person who is able to chant like that is a Brahman by level of consciousness. When come to the next stage of verse 11, comes to question of wisdom, impeccable wisdom, which is the sense of the second part of the deep sleep. And then is word connected is Makara. As I showed you, you is the external world. Ukara is deep, that dreamy consciousness. Makara is a deep sleep. You literally come to the brain and your inside feel everything A to Z. You know A to Z of everything on the whole. You literally become one part of the merging. This is literally like integration, akhandata, complete. Once come to that stage, you have come to deep sleep. That's the result. You are able to feel bliss by and large, and that is Om Tat Sat. Then comes the last verse says, the fourth state of wisdom has no element. It cannot be spoken of. It is non-dual. The three worlds are resolved in it. The syllabus Ankara is the real self. The person who knows this enters the self. And that is what I've seen down. You have the fourth element. And that is helium 4, which is Aditi, synthesized in the core of sun and given to us our Antaratma. As a result, we can be in tune with sun and do things one by one on the whole. That's the beauty of it. Then Chandogya Upanishad is a discussion. Prajapati gives it to Indra and Virochan about these three stages, but he uses the period as 32 years, 32 years, 30 years and 5. But actually he's talking about 7 plus 7 plus 7 plus 1 are 22 by 21. And I have already explained that. I will be doing much more in detail later, and that's it. And with that knowledge, we come to this particular symbol, which is last. and entire universe knowledge from A to Z with impeccable wisdom is there. And once someone is able to understand this, he is one with God. And that's it.